The right and media elite melting down over Kamala Harris avoiding the press. But could such a strategy prove most advantageous to her growing presidential campaign? Welcome to the No Spin Zone. Graph's Grievances begins right now. While it is undoubtedly true that the mainstream media is mostly composed of liberal Ivy League graduates who grew up on the coasts and hate everything Donald Trump and his MAGA movement stand for, the media also loves Donald Trump. Why is this? Because despite Trump's ruthless attacks on the press, Trump loves talking to the media. And whether Trump believes all publicity is good publicity, or whether Trump believes that he is his best spokesperson, is really besides the point. Because as a journalist, I can assure you that what matters most to us is good content. And Trump, with his unorthodox approach to politics, which some might call insane, combined with his eagerness to try to explain himself, provides endless good content, maybe great content for the press. Understanding this relationship between Trump and the media explains why both are now united in calling for Vice President Kamala Harris to hold a press conference and sit for an interview.
Since becoming a presidential candidate, she has refused to do a single interview. You know why? Because she's dumb. Or hold a single press conference. She won't hold a press conference. She's not doing any news conference. You know why she's not doing it? Because she can't do a news conference. She doesn't know how to do a news conference. She's not smart enough to do a news conference.
Kamala Harris has been the nominee for 3 weeks. She hasn't sat down for a real interview.
Believe me, we are asking. You're not going to get a disagreement there.
But the point is, Dana.
So there you saw Trump and Vance with their usual bluster attacking Harris for avoiding the press. But as I explained, they are not alone.
It seems like she has time if she wanted to do an interview with a member of the media or do a news conference, correct? There does appear to be that time if she wanted.
Well, look, she has said on the campaign trail that she would be doing an interview at some point. She said that, I think, last week during a rope line or when she was talking to reporters. But look, what is important here, John, is that she is taking her message directly to the American people.
Would it kill you guys to have a press conference? Why hasn't she had a press conference?
Listen, the Vice President and Governor Walz have been busy crisscrossing this country since the launch of this campaign and adding Governor Walz to the ticket. You saw the ways in which they went across the battleground states last week, generating rallies of thousands, 10,000 here, 15,000 there. But
Michael, you know, a campaign rally is not a press conference. Do you mind if I cut in? I mean, you know, a campaign rally is not a press conference. Why hasn't she had a press conference? She's the vice president. She can handle the questions. Why not do it?
We absolutely are going to do it. You hear her take questions as she's out on the stump.
That was CNN anchors John Berman and Jim Acosta pressing two different Harris campaign spokespeople about why Harris has avoided doing an interview or press conference since announcing her presidential run. And it's not just CNN. This week, the New York Times, the Washington Post, and the Guardian all criticizing Harris for not speaking to them. But here's the unvarnished truth. When you are not an adept interviewee and are gaining in the polls while drawing huge crowds to your rallies, there is virtually zero upside to taking questions from the press. The reason Trump and the media want to question Harris is because they want to create a viral moment where Harris looks incompetent. And that doesn't mean the press is bad or evil. In fact, the exact opposite is true. But their job is to ask tough questions about thorny issues. And while some politicians are very good at navigating even the most adversarial interviews, such as Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg and even Trump to some extent, That is not Harris's strength.
Break it down in layman's terms for people who don't understand what's going on and how can this directly affect the people of the United States.
So Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia.
We campaign with the plan. Uppercase T, uppercase P. The plan.
Do you have plans to visit the border?
Not today. But I have before, and I'm sure I will again. I said I'm going to go to the border. And
when are you going to the border, Vice President?
The administration has asked. I'm not finished. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
I'm being clear with you right now.
Yes, okay.
And so if you're interested, I'll continue to be clear. There are a whole lot of people, especially people who live in rural communities, who don't, there's no Kinko's, there's no Office Max near them. It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. We are doing it.
But should we have done it sooner?
We are doing it.
And I play that not to make fun of Harris, but to show that while she has many talents, and I believe is very smart, doing interviews is clearly not her skill. Therefore, she is wise to avoid them and press conferences for as long as she possibly can. And that time frame will be dictated by the polls and the enthusiasm behind her campaign. As long as both of those metrics continue to grow in the positive direction, there is little, if any, benefit to subjecting herself to questioning. Which explains why Harris is also correct in refusing to agree to any additional debates with Trump until after they face off for the first time on September 10th. Today, we learned that Harris's running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, and Trump's choice for VP, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, agreed to participate in their first debate on October 1st. And while we don't know how Walz performs in challenging debates and interviews, it is probably politically advantageous for the Harris campaign to keep him away from the press for now as well. The bottom line here is, first, do no harm, and second, don't mess with success. Thank you for watching Graph's Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, share, and join me in the next one.